Giru Lore Public Access Chapter 2 Outbreak Initial Events 2026 September 19th Day of the Reaper. Undisclosed location of CCF Laboratory Beta 7, California. 1754. Blood samples and fresh flesh samples arrive to the research facility. 1803. Blood samples are delivered to lab sublevel 24 1. 1805. Samples are opened and research begins on the samples. 1808. There's a minor spillage. Researchers are in level 0 hazmat suits. Some lands on senior lab tech Gary Dewitt. Operations Chief Thomas Chandian urges the senior tech to immediately decontaminate, which Dewitt complies and rushes to the lab's decontamination chamber. 1812 decontamination procedure finish. The parasite has already made a minor breach in the researcher's suit and into his skin without him knowing. The procedure immediately strip clothing left in the dispenser of the decon chamber. Begin decon spraying personnel with antibacterials and repellents to ensure the skin has no exposure. The liquid is about 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and once personnel have gone through, they immediately need to dry off, warm up, and get back into their protective suits. 1815. Research continues as normal, blood sampling, centrifuge, etc. Anything they could do to ensure a cure could be made. 1823. Senior researcher Dewitt acclaims necessity to leave to use the bathroom and urges to avoid decon as it's an emergency. Chief Jandian isn't in the control room at this moment, and the operator is convinced to open the door without decon. Dewitt is already infected and the parasite is in full control. Before long, he won't even be able to speak as his body begins rapid decomposition. 1830. Dewitt makes his way to the internal generator block, plants a codex sabotage that was planned to be utilized if his pay wasn't increased, and gets a remote kill switch. 1837. With the chief back in control, Dewitt arrives back to the lab. Entry procedure during research are immediate entry and close off rather than decon for the entry in case of emergency. Inside of the lab, Dewitt calls to the chief. 1838. Dewitt. Chief Jandian, sir. Jandian replies, yes, senior researcher? Dewitt. Are you afraid of the dark? Jandian replies, why are you asking me this during a procedure, man? Dewitt. A man fears more when he knows his fear is coming. Is it death you fear? Jandian to the control crew. Something's not right. Call security immediately. Dewitt. They can't save you, sir. We're already here, and there will be no light to hide near. Now pray, for it's all you've left in your very short life. From BB 005, Dewitt. 1839. As Dewitt points to the chief, all is quiet. He pulls out and presses the button on the remote. The click of the remote is all that's heard, then the lights are killed. The magnetic locks to all doors disable. All that's heard is screaming, tearing of flesh, and cracking of bones. Then, silence. Only the soft taps of footsteps approaching the glass. 1840. Bam! The glass is shattered. Chief Jandian is pulled through as security is entering the control room. They dump all of their 9mm MP5 mags into BB 005. Ineffectively. Only more flesh to slaughter in effect. 1844. No 10-minute safety call received from sublevel 25 raises the alarm in the facility into full lockdown. Or so it should have. However, intercom control and internal control are on different sublevels. While intercom control was operational, BB 005 ensured to neutralize the internal control room in sublevel 20. While the facility appears to be secure from the outside, internally it is still open, and possibly more open than before. 1853. All of Laboratory Beta 7 is infected. While Giru is aware of the situation, they were under the impression they had more time to react. Due to the unaware communication of the lockdown, Giru would not arrive in full force 4 hours later, unaware that California would fall in the coming day. 1928. BB-00 parasite broke loose, sweeping through California in just a few days in advance. No select location, General Midwest Region, 2026, September 20th, Liberation Day, 0500. All of North America goes into immediate distress, U.S. sending out amber warnings to stay indoors or evacuate entirely, as news of the black blood virus was spreading just barely more rapidly than the virus itself. Borders shut down, airports overcrowded, making large populations even more easily infectable. 1800. By this point, BB-00 has breached into the heels of the Midwest region of the U.S., rapidly approaching the East Coast. Giru is planning their major response as teams are deployed in response and immediately cut down. Obviously, no fairy tales need to be made of the following events. You already know, you've heard. So where does Giru's story pick up? TFCF, Task Force Chimeric Fox. True blood chimeras. Embodied human souls and consciousness inside of a synthetic embedder body. No longer requiring food, water to breathe, though they need gas masks still relatively to prevent contamination or to regain stamina. These creatures carry the saving grace humanity needs, the only turning tides to combat such a rapid, volatile parasite. Though they outshrink the parasite, they are still massively outnumbered. The consciousness they can replicate, save soul and all, so long as the mind of the chimera is destroyed. Build a new body, place their consciousness in the new body, and they reef them again, as parts might be fuzzy for the person recollecting on their past memories. See Captain Josero Bitkovich speech for new and returning chimeras. IDE BB-00 Black Bud Virus, parasitic disease that plagued all of the Americas, not a hive mind. This parasite attacks the liver, poisoning the body, then directly takes control of the body at its nervous system. Each individual worm can retain memories from past hosts, making later stage outbreaks extremely difficult to deal with. BB-005 Do It. Senior Lab Tech Gary Do It, the fifth instance of an RMT, rapidly mutating target. High priority target, extremely resilient and smart, normally carrying multiple people's knowledge and much stronger than regular mutations. Giru would not have this one designated until much later in the story. There is 4 more to encounter after all. Chief Thomas Jandian, CCF Laboratory Beta 7 Operations Chief. Status MIA. Officially, no one knows what actually happened to him. While logical to assume he was infected, only accountable RMT leaving the facility would be BB-005, as upper levels still had power and should have caught him leaving. Perhaps he's still down there. Parentheses. Yes, he should be an RMT, as his knowledge level alone should be enough to proceed with such a level of power. Firebase Phoenix. USIC Central Operations Base. Firebase on the island of Runograd. All USIC personnel were around this location in a civil war when it all ended. If only the director knew what that virus actually did. Laboratory Beta 7, Giru CCF research facility located somewhere in California. CCF's secondary operating research facility containing some of the smartest minds the world's seen or saw. It is the epicenter of the Day of the Reaper outbreak through all of California. Chimera, synthetic creature or vessel that can hold the souls and or consciousnesses of a human. Typically heavily modified from the standard human complexity, made stronger without life-sustaining requirements like food, air, or water. Captain Josero Bitkovich, Major Operations Commander for Giru, Head of TFCF, a renowned captain in the Giru, especially known for his grunt work with P1 at the time of his lower ranking. Suppose the Chimera volunteers are lucky to hear a speech from him.